Now, see, when you talk about insurance, insurance is nothing but a type of protection or a type of safeguard against a huge loss. Like, for example, suppose if you have a business, if you have a shop in which you are having your goods, your products, and you are going to make money by selling those. But suppose on a certain day there is some kind of electric short circuit or maybe something else due to which the place has caught up a fire. So now because the place has caught up a fire, so you have to have some kind of safeguard against your loss, and that comes only with the help of insurance. You go to an insurance company and you talk to them and you tell them, "Yes, sir, this is my place, these are the goods, these are the value of the goods that I am having in my shop, and I need some safety for my goods so that in case something unusual happens, then in such a case I am protected against that kind of a loss." So in basically insurance helps you to safeguard or protect your huge losses. You cannot get any kind of profit from the insurance. Generally, insurance is never taken for the profit. It is just taken for the protection. Okay. So generally there are two types of insurance: life insurance and the general insurance. Life insurance is generally taken for us human beings, and general insurance covers all our property, businesses, goods, our health, our car, our bike, any kind of other vehicle that you are having. Everything is covered under the general insurance. So in our syllabus, we have to mostly focus on the general insurance part, and one or two questions are there on the life insurance, but mostly your exams they always focus on the questions which are based on the general insurance. Now when we talk about the general insurance, as I told you, it covers our properties, our goods, our businesses, and all those things. So there are some important points, some important steps that we have to follow in this. So I would suggest you write it all the points along with me. In case in between, if you have some doubt, then you make a star over there or make a point over there and you can ask me later on. Okay. See, the first thing that you have to remember over here is property value. You should know the property value of whatever property or goods that you want to insure. Just for simplicity, I will assume that the value of the property that I want to insure is rupees 10,000. Now, if the property value is 10,000, it may happen that I want to insure the entire property or I want to insure a certain part of the property. So, the second thing that comes is the insured value or the policy value. Now, the insured value or the policy value can be of two types: property, fully insured, and the second case is property, partly insured. In case when the property is fully insured, we say that the insured value is equal to the property value, and so the insured value becomes rupees 10,000 in the first case. In case when I say that the property is partly insured, then probably our question may tell us that property is insured for 80% of its value or 70% of its value, something like that. So in such a case, you should understand that the property owner does not want to insure the property completely, but he wants to insure it partly. So in such a case, in case of partly insured, let us take for example, it is insured value is, let us say, 80% of property value, which is actually 80 upon 100 multiplied by 10,000. So when I multiply, I will get this as equal to rupees 8,000. So this is the way we will calculate the property value in the question wherever it is asked. See, whenever you want to buy the insurance, we have to pay some amount to the company. And the amount that we pay to the company is called as the premium. So the third point that comes is the premium. Always remember a very important point. Premium is calculated a certain percentage of insured value. If property is fully insured, it will be based on calculation of the property value. But if the property is partly insured, then in such a case, we have to select this value, the insured value, in order to calculate the premium. Suppose if I assume that premium rate is equal to, for example, 10%. So in such a case, the premium rate, if it is 10%, it is applied to the insured value. So let us consider case number 1. Premium amount will be equal to, when I say case number 1, I am talking about the fully insured case. So premium amount will be 10% of the insured value, which is actually equal to the property value, which is 10,000. So I will get over here 10% of 10,000, which is equal to 10 upon 100 multiplied by, and it comes out to be equal to rupees 1,000. In the second case, the premium rate will always remain the same. Premium rate will not change. Just the insured value changes depending on which the premium amount changes. So I will get over here premium amount in the second case. When we are talking about the second case, it means that we are saying insured value is 80% of the property value. So in that such a case, it will become 10% of the insured value, which is 8,000 rupees. So this is 10 upon 100 multiplied by 8,000. So cancel off these values, and 80 into 10, that will give you rupees 800. So that becomes your premium amount in the second case when the property is not fully insured, it is partly insured. Now see, when you are taking the insurance, we cannot approach the company, the owner, directly for taking the insurance. We have to approach some person who is selling the insurance, and the seller of the insurance is called as an insurance agent. So what happens is the insurance agent won't provide any services for free. So in such a case, whatever the premium that the company collects from us, the company will pay to the insurance agent a certain part of that particular premium. So in such a case, when I talk about the agent, so the point number 4 that comes is agent's commission. Always remember over here that agent's commission is always a certain percentage of premium amount. Whatever premium we will pay, based on that, the company will be giving the commission to the agent. So it is a certain percentage of the premium amount. So let us consider that commission rate is equal to, let us say, 5%. So if the commission rate is 5% in such a case, let us talk about the first case when we are paying a premium of 1000 rupees. So in such a case, commission amount is equal to 5% of the premium, which is 1000, which is equal to 5 upon 100 multiplied by 1000. So in that case, it comes out to be equal to rupees 50. That was the first case when the property was fully insured and we made a premium payment of 1000 rupees. When we talk about the second case, commission amount again the premium rate still remains the same, 5% of the premium in the second case, which was 800, which is coming out to be 5 upon 100 multiplied by 800. So when I cancel off the zeros, 8 into 5, that will give you rupees 40. Very easy. So see, these are very small amounts that I am getting because I am considering that the property value is actually very small. Generally 50 rupees or 40 rupees does not come in the real life. It depends on what is the value of the property that you are insuring, and based on that the agent will be receiving the commission. Okay. So in such a case, the general property values nowadays are very high, 50 lakh, 70 lakh, 1 crore. So in such a case, agents really earn a good amount of commission. But then in this, because it's a first example and I am trying to cover each and every point which is a part of the syllabus. So everything in the chapter is being covered over here. So in your questions, you will not be asked all the things together. Probably a certain part of all these things together will be coming in your question. So you don't need to worry कि इतना सब आने वाला है क्या. So these are all small parts of your question which I am trying to cover together at a time, so that when we are solving our exercise, you will be able to relate and compare over here. Okay, so that is your agent's commission. After agent's commission, the next thing that comes, the most important thing, the reason for which we are doing our insurance is point number 5, which is loss. Now see, listen guys, when we talk about the losses are generally of two types. When we say two types, so in such a case, what is the type 1? Type 1 is complete loss. When we say complete loss, a part of property is completely damaged. Always remember, losses are based on the property value. Based on property value. Loss is never calculated on the policy value or the insured value, because the reason is that the policy is nothing but a piece of paper on which you are taking the contract, on which you are signing that you are ready to pay the premium, and in return the insurer is ready to pay you whenever something or some kind of loss happens. So we have to remember one very important point over here, that the loss is always calculated as a certain part or based on your property value and not on your policy value. Keep this thing in mind, all of you. Okay guys. So let us assume in this case that there is a complete loss of goods worth rupees 3000. So when I say complete loss of goods worth rupees 3000, so from here I can understand complete loss is rupees 3000. Or probably in your textbook or in your questions, you will be seeing a statement which says that goods worth rupees 3000 were completely damaged. So when it says that the goods worth rupees 3000 were completely damaged, it means that it is trying to talk about the complete loss. Okay, that was your first part of the loss. Second part that comes over here is the partial loss. Now, when we talk about partial loss, the statement that we will be seeing will be generally of two types. So just listen very carefully, guys. I'll be covering both the types over here. Type A. Remaining goods damaged to the extent of 40% of its value. This statement over there is very important. Damaged to extent of 40%. When I say damage to the extent of 40%, it means that the remaining goods had a loss of 40%. The remaining goods were not completely damaged, only 40% of the remaining goods were damaged. The remaining are still safe and it can be used and sold. Okay, so as per the question, it says that the remaining goods are damaged to the extent of 40%. So first thing that I have to know is what is the value of the remaining goods. So how do we find the value of the remaining goods? We say that it is original value of the goods which was covered under the property value minus the complete loss, obviously, because when I want to know the remaining value, the goods that were completely damaged or the completely lost will be no longer of use. Therefore, I have to just remove that value. I have to subtract that value. So it is property value minus complete loss. So in such a case, it comes out to be your property value was 10,000 and the complete loss just now we have seen it is rupees 3000. So it comes out to be equal to rupees 7,000. Now this 7,000 is the remaining value of the goods and the partial loss in this case is 40% of 70,000. 7,000, sorry. In that case, I say that partial loss is equal to 40% of 7,000, which is actually going to be 40 upon 100 into 7,000. 7 into 4 comes out to be 28. So I can say this is 2,800. So in this case, according to case A, my total loss is complete loss plus partial loss. This is an important formula that you will have to remember. Complete loss was 3000 as we had seen just now, and the partial loss we just now calculated rupees 2800. So that comes out to be equal to rupees 5800. So that is the first part, that is A part, where the goods have been damaged to the extent of 40%. Case A. Now let us talk about case B. Again, case B is an important one, so listen very carefully, guys. Remaining goods damaged and reduced to 40% of its value. These are the exact words that you are going to see in your questions. So listen very carefully, what is the difference between case A and case B now. In case B over here, it has told me damaged and reduced to 40%. Let me take a small number line over here. Suppose if I consider that this number line is representing the remaining value of the goods, total value out of which complete loss was completely gone, so we are not talking about that now. I am just talking about the remaining value of the goods, which we have calculated that the remaining value is 7000 rupees. Now, the remaining goods are damaged and reduced to 40%. This is 0%, this is 100%, and 40% will be somewhere over here. When I say that it is reduced to 40%, it means that this part over here, this part has been damaged. If this part is damaged, so it means that the damage is actually of 60% out of the total. So the question when it comes that it is damaged and reduced to 40%, so in such a case, you have to subtract that percentage value from 100. So in such a case, when I write it, it will be written or represented like this. Partial loss is equal to 100 minus 40 percentage of remaining value of goods. And that is actually 60% of remaining value we had seen, yes, it was 7000. So remaining value is 7000. Therefore, I will get this is equal to 60 upon 100 multiplied by 7000. And on solving, it will come out to be rupees 7 into 6 is 42 and 2 zeros. So it is 4200. So here guys, the loss is of 4200, which is the partial loss, and complete loss we had already seen it is of 3000 rupees in the above case. So in case B, the total loss of the owner is actually complete loss, once again the same formula, plus the partial loss, which is 4200, that will come out to be equal to rupees 7200. That is your case B. So I'm sure you must have got the basic difference between the two cases. In the case A, you have to just take directly the percentage that the question has given to us, because it is telling damage to the extent, मतलब damage कितना हुआ वो बता दिया. लेकिन second case में he has told us that damaged and reduced to 40%. इसका मतलब 40% is left out of the total remaining goods. So if it is left out of the total, So what is the damage? Obviously 100% minus the leftover percent, which is 40%. I'm very, if am I very clear to all of you guys? That is your value for the partial loss. So in case when you want to find the total loss, as I already gave you the formula, it is complete loss plus the partial loss. Now the next thing and the last thing that comes under this particular part of insurance is the main reason. If loss happens, then we will be approaching to the company and we will tell the company, sir, please come or please send some of your official person to come and verify that something has been damaged over here. He can evaluate that particular thing, and based on that valuation you please compensate for that particular loss. So compensation of loss is called as the claim that we receive from the insurance company. So the point number 6 that comes over here is compensation of loss, and this in short we will always say as claim. We will never say compensation of loss, though the textbook will ask you find the amount that the company has to compensate or find the compensation value that the person should receive. We will always say claim because the meaning is exactly the same. So how do we calculate the claim? See, I'll give you the formula. Claim is always the insured value divided by property value multiplied by the total loss. Again, an important formula for us. Insured value divided by the property value multiplied by the total loss. So now let us check, let us understand that in both the cases, in case A and case B, how much does the person receive as a compensation? How much does the person receive as the claim amount? Let us first talk about case A that we had seen in the above part, that is the loss part. Case A, when the total loss that we had seen was rupees 5,800. Claim is equal to insured value. We had seen that the insured value was 8,000 rupees divided by the property value, which was 10,000 rupees, multiplied by 5,800. So when we calculate this, it will come out to be equal to rupees 4,640. Whereas in case B, when the total loss was rupees 7,200, I can say that claim will be equal to 8,000, that is the insured value, divided by the property value, which is 10,000, multiplied by the total loss, which is 7,200. So in this case, the amount that will be received as a compensation from the company or the claim amount will be rupees 5,760. Hey guys, while calculating the claim just now, I am considering that the property was partially insured. So I have taken it as 8,000 upon 10,000 in both the cases. In case when the property was fully insured, so only a small change that you would see over there. Instead of this 8,000, we will substitute as 10,000, and 10 upon 10, that will become 1. So whatever was the loss will be compensated by the company in both the case, either in the first case or in the second case when you are insuring the property fully. But when you are not insuring the property fully, in such a case, there will be a reduction in the claim amount and they will not compensate of your total loss. So I just wanted to show you that if you are not insuring your property completely, then obviously the company will also say that we will also not compensate for the complete loss or the total loss, but we will give you the compensation in proportion to what you have insured your property.